Hey everyone, welcome back to another Fortnite Save the World video. Today, I will show you the new build for Hill Amplifier South Direction, for Twine Peaks Endurance. I delayed this build for a reason. I will explain everything you need to know first about this build, then we'll show you how to build it step by step as usual. So, if you used my old build for this amplifier, you know that it was a recycle build. Even the South Direction wasn't possible to build as a recycle build, because of the terrain around it. Still, I created a path to make it possible. But of course, it cost a lot of structures just for the block-offs. Creating something to simulate normal terrains, and force the husk to follow it, is not simple. All of that was just for one reason. Avoiding eliminating any husk as much as possible. Yes, some of them will get eliminated, like from other tunnels traps, the big meteor above the spawn, and etc. But still, it won't be as many eliminations as a damage build. As you know, less husk and mist monsters eliminations mean less smashers to spawn. Smashers were a major issue to control with this amplifier during Wave 19 and 11 back in the days. Just like Ridge Amplifier Wave 22, they don't recognize the amplifier, so they go crazy on the walls. The old build worked well, even if some smashers spawned. Thanks to the double loop bridge. In some situations, a double loop bridge will be the best if you have issues with smashers not recognizing the amplifier, since they have more than one way to reach the amplifier. But the main issue with builds like that is if a critical part of the main tunnel got destroyed, the whole thing will suffer. For example, Hill Amplifier here. Both directions relied on a ramp up at the end to lead the husk to the amplifier. These ramps are the most critical parts of the builds. For any reason, if a smasher got stuck inside and destroy it, or the mini-boss went weird and started hitting these ramps, it will be an issue. Since the husk don't have a path to reach the amplifier, so they will go for the block-offs and start destroying them. Same thing with Ridge Amplifier if you know what I mean. Yes, Ridge Amplifier is a damage build, but it still has one of those critical ramps. So, I started relying only on nature terrain most of the time. That's why I wanted to make a damage build for this amplifier. Then we got the terrain update, which allowed us to be able to build inside terrains to add more traps, and a lot of you asked me for a damage build for this amplifier. I started working on it. But controlling the smashers during waves 19 and 29 was a nightmare. The loop bridge will be a bit similar to the old one. But believe me, I tried a lot of them. And since it's a damage build, a lot of smashers will spawn. Sometimes you are lucky. But I always test for the worst case scenario. For that, the main path will be a simple and straight way to the amplifier. We can build complex paths here, but smashers won't like them sometimes. The smashers' issues when they don't recognize the amplifier got fixed mostly. It's rare to happen now. But still, there's a very small chance for it to happen. A lot of people get worried when I say that, thinking that it will happen a lot in their base. As I said, it's very rare. I know a lot of people didn't face any for years. That's why I add these gameplay videos, to show you how the build works with all the main and random waves. You can check the gameplay for this build in this video. And it's not just for this amplifier. This thing when smashers don't recognize the amplifier can happen to all the amplifiers with that small chance. Even the home base during wave 11. But I have to explain every single possible situation. Plus you can check the old recycle build as well, works very well. Just use the latest loop bridge. And if you have one of these issues multiple times in a row, that's mean you got something wrong with the build. Like you missed a block off, different traps that driving the smashers crazy, wrong loop bridge, etc. That's why I recommend checking this video if you got any issues. And if it's just the loop bridge, and the build need a new one, I always post update videos as soon as possible. Long intro I know, but I have to explain it. With that out of the way, let's start with the build. And to avoid any confusion, let's call it Hill Amplifier 2025 Build 1, the South Direction. If there's any updates for the build, any needed information, or even a new version of the build, I will leave them in the description. So, make sure to check it before building anything. Now everything is ready, let's start with the build. But before we start, don't forget to use code Larsis in the item shop and Epic Games Store if you want to support me, helps me a lot. As always, big thanks for all the channel members, super chat on the stream, everyone uses my creator code, and all the support, really appreciate that. And without further ado, let's get started. Let's start with the main tunnel. The main spawn is here. The main tunnel will be in front of it. Here we can add a lot of traps inside the tunnel thanks to the terrain update. Remove these 3 edited walls if they gave you trouble with smashers. Leave this one like that. Sometimes smashers while charging on the amp or the mini-bosses will fall down here, so they walk this path all the way back to the tunnel. Even if they destroyed that wall, don't worry. Expand the spawn cover if needed, for more drop traps. Even if you can surround the spawn with wall darts. Just if needed. Like if your trap's durability is very low. Since it's a damage build, it requires more durability than a recycle one. Don't add those, I forgot to remove them from a different build. Now for the traps and perks. Now let's add the traps. I will use double durability drop traps above the spawn, so they last longer. Make sure of the direction of the tank on the drop traps. To push the husk back away from the tunnel, not in. A lot of damage here. If you have a decent traps damage ratio, smashers won't even manage to pass here. You can add extra few anti-air traps, just in case. That should cover everything for this direction. And to avoid any issues, stand at the AFK spot, I built it in this video. I will cover the west direction next, with the rest of the block-offs, the spawn cover, and the loop bridge. And that's it for this video. Don't forget to use code Larsis in the item shop and Epic Games Store if you want to support me, helps me a lot. As always, big thanks for all the channel members, super chat on the stream, everyone uses my creator code, and all the support, really appreciate it. Like, subscribe if you are enjoying the content, so YouTube algorithm will suggest the video for more people. Hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, see you in the next one.